One America's Trey Yingst. He's on scene with the protests that are happening right outside of the convention center. Trey, I have a couple things I want to ask you. First of all, these protesters, we see behind you, we saw you walking with them before. Where are they trying to go? Clearly they're marching somewhere.
The protesters behind me, Liz, are headed towards the DNC, towards the Wells Fargo Center here in Philadelphia. There was a small group of protesters that broke off. We've been hearing some reports of flag burnings and small clashes with police. We haven't seen any of that from this vantage point, but I can see above me there's a police helicopter that is not only circling the spot that we are, but is also circling a spot down the street. So some of those clashes may be taking place there.
Right, we just saw a video that we saw on Twitter of a clash between protesters and police. We're wondering where exactly that's happening and how close that's getting to the convention center. You mentioned reports of burning flags. Any sort of violence, any sort of burning flags that you can see anywhere?
From my vantage point, I cannot see anything, but like I said, a lot of smaller groups from this protest have kind of split off. There's been a little bit of tension between police. If you'll pan the camera here, you can see bikes all lined up along the sides. This bike patrol officers have been kind of flanking the protest to ensure that people stay on the street and kind of out of the way of businesses alongside of Broad Street here in Philadelphia. There have been some small clashes there. It's unclear if these clashes will continue down closer to the DNC as they get closer to the gates.
Trey, are they going to go into the DNC? Is that their ultimate goal?
I think that's probably the ultimate goal, Liz, but I don't think they'll be able to. There's a number of police officers. I would say there's 100 police officers in front of them. So if they want to get into the DNC, they're going to have to deal with that law enforcement right there. And additionally, I can see down the street, there's a number of sirens, police cars that are headed this way. So they're going to have a lot of law enforcement to deal with if they want to try to get into the DNC.
All right, and Trey, just over your left shoulder, I can see a sign that says Bernie or bust. That's the second sign that I've seen just since we've been talking to you. Clarify for us, these protesters, they are pro-Bernie Sanders, anti-Hillary Clinton supporters. They don't have anything to do with anti-Trump, correct?
That's correct. Many of these people that I've spoken with today are actually voting for Trump. They say no matter what, they refuse to vote for Hillary Clinton. So when it comes down to a general election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, they are Bernie or bust. So if Bernie does not have the nomination, their vote is going to Trump.
All right, Trey, categorize this for us. Do you consider these protests to be continuing with the status quo, or are these escalating?
I would say that they're escalating a little bit. I've seen a number of people with gas masks, with bandanas, so that indicates to me that there could potentially be tear gas, things like that. We haven't seen any of it so far, but people are clearly prepared for the worst.
Trey, it looks like things are escalating out there. Tell us what you see.
Right now, there's some fires being set outside of the convention center. Sorry, we've got some... Hey. So sorry about that. We've got some protesters that don't want us to film. There's some illegal activity going on. Sorry about that, Liz. We've got some protesters right now because there's fires being lit and a number of other things happening outside of the DNC. We're going to go back to you, Liz. We're going to go back to you.
All right, Trey, thank you so much. Yeah,
we're going to have to go back to you, Liz. I'm sorry about this.
We're checking in with Trey Yingst. Clearly there's chaos, there's burning that's going on. We hear reports that Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein is speaking, but Trey Yingst says there's illegal activity going on. As you can see, protesters trying to stifle his videotaping, his interviewing. What we can see right now, we'll see where he takes his camera. We see a lot of protesters pushing him away. Okay, let's listen.
Get back. Do not touch my camera. Don't touch my camera. So things are escalating very quickly here outside of the convention. There's a fire behind me that's being set, and as you saw from our last shot, people here do not want to see kind of what's happening. They do not want to be on camera because they're breaking the law. Things were very peaceful early on, but they're no longer peaceful here outside of the DNC. If you look over a little bit to my left, there's some police staging over there because it's getting to the point where they're going to have to disperse the crowd. Things are getting pretty dangerous out here, and I think we're one of the only networks out here right now.
All right, and there's been reports, if you could confirm or deny this, there's been reports that some of the protesters have baseball bats and are getting ready to march even closer to the DNC. Do you see any of that anywhere?
I don't see any of that. From my vantage point, I see a few people with masks on. I see a few people that are burning. I'm not sure if it's a flag or a poster right now, but it's getting kind of smoky right next to the gate here at the DNC.
Right, we can see the smoke from here too. If you can get an eye on what they're burning, keep us updated on that. Where is Jill Stein compared to where you're standing right now?
From where we are right now, Jill Stein is probably about 100 yards away from me. She was talking to people a little bit earlier on a megaphone, but right now it looks like she's done talking after a little bit of the commotion that erupted here.
All right, and what are the police doing? How are they handling this situation?
It looks like right now police are staging. They kind of moved back. There's still a line of bike officers to my left. And then if you look behind me here, there's some officers behind the gate. Some of the people to my right here are showing some videos, if you want to pan over here, of what was burning in the middle of that group. We had difficulty getting in the middle there because, like I said before, they are indeed breaking the law, and they don't want to be on camera, so it's very difficult for us to get there. But I would say that we're as close as we can get right about now.
All right, Trey, and confirm for us, Jill Stein, she's the presidential candidate for the Green Party. What does the Green Party have to do with these protests?
So the Green Party, for many of the Bernie Sanders supporters, has been organizing some of these marches. What we saw earlier at the Bernie or Bust rally was Jill Stein actually getting up there and saying, hey, look, if you're looking for a candidate and you don't like Hillary Clinton, you could also go third party. She's giving people that option if they do want to go third party.